Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Raid SMG. This bad boy right here, the IMMINENCE. We're going to be talking about the perks this weapon can get and the one that you should be looking for if you're looking for a god roll, or eventually when you can craft it, craft your god roll. Because this thing actually does have some pretty good perks for both PvP and PvE. And afterwards, we're just going to have a mini review where we talk about what I think about the weapon in both PvP and the Crucible. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, make sure you guys leave a like and leave me a comment down below telling me what's the role that you're going for on this weapon. It really helps out the channel. You don't understand how important it is, but thank you, those of you that do it. But anyways, let's not waste any more time. Let's start talking about this SMG and let's go over some basics first before getting into the perks. First of all, how do you actually get this weapon? You're going to be getting it for the Salvation's Edge raid. You can get it from either the second or the third encounter. That's where I saw it drop twice. So any of those encounters have a chance to drop the IMMINENCE. This 900 RPM strand submachine gun, so it's a lightweight frame, so you have superb handling, and you also move faster with the weapon it's equipped. That lightweight frame makes this weapon feel amazing. It feels really good with the lightweight frame. And the origin trait you have on this weapon is collective purpose. You gain bonus range and handling when near allies. So all you have to be is be near allies, and it's not only going to make the weapon feel a little snappier with the extra handling, but you straight up just get more range. Which is pretty good for a SMG like this, since they don't have a lot of like range naturally. If you're trying to maximize your range as possible, then having something like this, just adding a bit of extra range on top of it, is gonna be pretty good. Now let's move on and take a look at the trade perks. I think we have some really good ones for both slots, Perk 1 and Perk 2. But let's start off with the first one, and these are all options right here. And let's start from the top. The first one we have is Fragile Focus. This weapon gains bonus range until your shield is destroyed. After that we have Perpetual Motion. This weapon gains bonus stability, handling, and reload speed while the wielder is in motion. After that we have Pugilist. Final blows with the weapon generate melee energy, and dealing melee damage briefly improves this weapon's handling. Next we have Dynamic Sway Reduction. Improves accuracy and stability while continuously holding down the trigger. So as you shoot the weapon, it just kind of gets more stable and more accurate. Enlightened Actions gonna give us some reload speed and handling whenever we do some damage. After that we have Slice. Casting our class ability will allow this weapon to sever targets on hit for a brief duration. And the last perk we have in this column is Demolitionist. Kills with this weapon generate grenade energy, and activating our grenade reloads the weapon from reserves. So that's what we have on the first perk. I think let's start off talking about PvE. And I would say the best ones are probably Pugilist, Slice, and Demolitionist. Now Demolitionist is pretty simple. We get some grenade energy back, meaning that we can spam our grenades. If we rely a lot on our grenades, or our grenades are a big part of our build, then this would be perfect. But even if your grenades are not like a major part of your build, it never hurts to have more grenades. But yeah, Demolitionist is just amazing. Every kill that we get will give us some energy back. After that we have Slice. Whenever we use a class ability, we sever targets. I really like Slice, and not even only on the Strength class. Does it work best with the Strength class? Yes it does. It has a really good synergy. But I think it pretty much can work on any class that you're on. Sever is just a good buff. It debuffs the enemy so they don't do as much damage. So if there's a big enemy that's a little dangerous, you can lower its damage. It will also hurt that enemy with that Sever. And if that enemy happens to die, it will go around and hit some other targets before it disappears. Sever is pretty good. I really like it for PvE. I feel like it works very well with pretty much anything that you do. And the last perk we want to take a look at in this column is Pugilist. Pugilist is pretty much a demo, but for melees. Final blows with the weapon will give you some melee energy back. So if you're in a melee focus build, then Pugilist is gonna be what you're looking for. But if not, I would say that Demo is a better option than Pugilist, just because I feel like grenades can be more impactful than your melees. So I would say Demo is probably over Pugilist, except if you're running something that requires your melee. Now let's move on to the perks for the Crucible, and the first one we're going to talk about is Fragile Focus. Fragile Focus is going to give you a big range bump meaning that we can take fights from farther away. You want to maximize the range on these types of SMGs, so Fragile Focus is just kind of perfect. So I say Fragile Focus is definitely going to be pretty solid with this weapon. This is one that you can go for. Next up we have Dynamic Sway. Improves accuracy and stability while continuously holding down the trigger. You definitely feel the dynamic sway reduction kicking in as you're going through the magazine. Thing just becomes really stable. So I would actually really recommend dynamic sway reduction. If you don't think you need the range from Fragile Focus, dynamic sway reduction is gonna be like the second best perk that you can possibly choose. Or if you think the weapon just kicks a little too much, then dynamic sway reduction 100% is gonna be what you wanna go for. And lastly we have Perpetual Motion. Perpetual Motion will give you stability, handling, and reload speed whenever we are in motion. This is a lightweight frame SMG, so we're gonna be moving a lot, so we're probably always gonna have that extra handling and the stability, and it's gonna make the weapon use you a lot better. This weapon already has really high handling, so I'm not super concerned about the handling, but the extra stability and reload speed is something you're definitely gonna feel. So Perpetual Motion is gonna be another really good perk. If you get any 3 of those perks, you're probably gonna be pretty good. Or if you decide to go with any of those 3 perks that you crafted, you're gonna do pretty good. Like I said, Fragile Focus, maximize the range. Dynamic Sway to maximize that stability and accuracy. And then Perpetual Motion just to make the weapon feel better. So those are the best perks that I think are in perk 1. Now let's move on to the second one. These are our options right here, and once again we'll start from the top. First of all, we have the brand new perk, Chaos Reshape. This weapon gains bonus damage when in combat for an extended time, remaining in combat for an even longer time, rewards a larger damage bonus, and periodically heals the wielder. And this perk is crazy. We're gonna get back to this one. After that we have Strategist. Final blows with this weapon generate class ability energy, activating your class ability, improves this weapon's stability. Now afterwards we have Firefly. Precision kills with this weapon increase reload speed and cause targets to explode, dealing solar damage to nearby targets. Next we have Desperate Measures. Weapon final blows grant bonus damage. Melee and grenade final blows grant a larger bonus that can stack. Next we have another damage buff with Kill Clip. Reloading after a kill grants increased damage. And the final perk on this column is Hatchling. Precision final blows or rapidly defeating targets with this weapon and spawns a threat lane. So once again, let's start off with PvE. And we're going to be starting off with the new perk. We have to talk about Chaos Reshape. Chaos Reshape is going to be pretty cracked. just in general. Just in general, if you see Chaos Reshape, it's probably going to be the perk that you want to go for in PvE. Not only is it going to give you a damage buff for being in combat like Frenzy, but it's a damage buff that can get even higher and then start healing you. So it's like a cracked up Frenzy that gives you even more damage, but also heals. Chaos Reshape is gonna be insane for any like PvE related content, is what you wanna look for. Other options for PvE though are Firefly, which is gonna give you the increased reload and also the AoE damage from the explosion. I was actually kind of surprised to see Firefly on a strand weapon. That just kind of seemed kind of weird, but I guess it's something that we do now. But yeah, Firefly is pretty good for the AoE damage. I think people like underestimate the Firefly damage. It can definitely help clear out ads, and the extra reload speed is pretty nice. And the last perk is gonna be Strategist. Final blows with the weapon generate class ability energy. Use it like Pugilist, use it like Demo. It just makes it good because you can spam your abilities a lot more often. And the good thing about this is that you can actually pair up Strategists with Demolitionist and just make this weapon give you back not only your grenade, but also your class ability. This is gonna be like the ability regen weapon. It's gonna be crazy with that combo if you decide to go for a combo like that. But yeah, any of those 3 perks are gonna be really good in PvE. This thing has a lot of choices. You even have something like Hatchling, which I don't think was the best perk for PvE, so I didn't put it in like the big 3 that I wanted to recommend. But if you're running like a strand build, you could even maybe run some Hatchling. But yeah, you have a lot of options here for PvE, and some really good options at that. But now, let's talk Crucible. And for the Crucible, we mainly have 2. We have Target Lock and kill clip. So target lock is going to make it so we reach the optimal TTK just a little bit easier. You don't have to hit as many headshots, and it makes the weapon a little bit more forgiving, meaning that you're going to be able to melt people more consistently. And trust me, melting people with this weapon is really fun. It's really fun. I had target lock on mine when I was using it in Crucible, and man, can this thing slap. It's pretty nice. It feels really good with this SMG, the target lock. If the melting with target lock, or consistent melting with target lock ain't enough for you, then you have kill clip, which is straight up just reducing your TTK, meaning that you're gonna melt people even harder and faster. After getting a kill, you reload, you get the increased damage, and you just go to town. There's nothing scarier than a 900 SMG with kill clip. If you go around the corner and run into a guy with that and its effective range, you're cooked, man. You're cooked. Those two perks are probably going to be your best bet for Crucible with this weapon. You could also go with something like Strategist to try to get your class ability fact faster. But I just think that the extra damage from kill clip or the consistency of target lock just kind of makes the weapon better. And I didn't really want to run or look for Strategists, at least for Crucible. But yeah, those are the perks that you should be looking for. For my PvE god roll, I think I would go with something like Demolitionist and Chaos Reshape. I think that could be pretty freaking great, just at any situation. And if you want to make ability the gun, you could also go with something like Demo Strategist, like I talked about earlier. Or, you know, Pugilist Strategist. Just combine them so you can get as much ability energy as you can. I think that would be something fun that you can do with the weapon as well. But if you want to be the best it can be in PvE, I think definitely Demo, Chaos Reshape, maybe Slice Chaos Reshape are probably going to be the best spawns for PvE. And for the Crucible, I think Fragile Focus with Target Lock or Fragile Focus with Kill Clip will be good. Or Dynamic Sway with Target Lock or Kill Clip would also be good. And you know, this time I'm going to change it around. We're actually going to start with Crucible because I actually put a lot of time with SMG in Crucible. And I gotta say, this thing feels amazing. I forgot how good the lightweight frame SMGs can feel. If you guys are wondering, I was running a Dynamic Sway Target Lock build with pretty much max range. And this thing felt really good. At first, it seemed like the weapon was gonna kick quite a bit when I was like testing out the weapon. But once Dynamic Sway kicks in, you start to feel it and this thing becomes really stable. That increased accuracy and stability from Dynamic Sway made this thing feel pretty good. I didn't even think that the recoil on it was that bad, even though we didn't really have too much stability built in the weapon. I really like the feeling of this weapon in Crucible. I would say it's definitely one that you're gonna see. And once people start getting enough to actually start crafting this weapon, then you're definitely gonna be seeing it all over the place. Now for PvE, I can definitely see this weapon being, you know, pretty solid. Nothing like super game changing, but definitely pretty solid and something that you can definitely use with strand builds or any ability heavy builds. I think this weapon will pair up really well with it, especially if you go for the full on ability regeneration route with this weapon. I think you'll see it. I think you'll find a home in PvE, or people that really like it and use it quite a bit. But yeah, what do you guys think about this weapon? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What is the god roll that you guys would think? You know, if you don't agree with my perk choices, just let me know in the comments below. Because, you know, I like to see different perspectives. I want to see what you guys are saying. So make sure you leave those in the comments below. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.